Hi, I'm Maria Fontanazza, editor of Food Safety Tech, and I'm here at the IAFP conference with Darin from STOP Foodborne Illness. I wanted to ask you about the Stewart Parnell case, the CEO of the Peanut Corporation of America. Based on what's going to happen in September, what do you think this message is sending to the industry about accountability?
At STOP Foodborne Illness, we look at not only the consumer perspective, but also the industry and the political side of things as well. This is a landmark event. Even just the fact that within a few days ago that the court officers recommended a life sentence for Stewart Parnell. We're talking about a man who's been found guilty on 60 some odd charges stemming to, well, actually the fraud and the conspiracy and the different issues, not actually purely for charges that are outlined in terms of illnesses and deaths. So here we have a man whose actions resulted in technically more deaths than that of Charles Manson. This isn't looked at by the industry in terms of, it's been about 40 years since the Supreme Court in U.S. v. Park made a very clear statement that owners, executives of food companies are to be held strictly liable for their actions when it involves illnesses and death. We have not seen too many cases of this in the federal court systems. We can look at Jensen Brothers, we can look at DeCoster's with the eggs. Jensen Brothers was the cantaloupe. But to look at this case in terms of the fact that Stewart Parnell is still in so much denial over this, and I tell you this not in terms of being speculative, I have actually talked to the man on the phone on several occasions. We've exchanged emails, and I talked with him about how when my son died from E. coli with a Jack in the Box E. coli outbreak in 1993, those executive officers never faced any prosecution for their actions, and that perhaps that lack of prosecution sent a message to the industry that it is okay, that it is acceptable, that there are casualties, and we move on and we continue with business as normal. And Stewart Parnell says to me that he would be the first person to stand in line that says that those executives should be in prison. But not me. He's in this position saying that, look, we're just doing business. I'm not really responsible for this. I'm not really responsible for that. This might be one snapshot, one look at one person and one industry and in one business, but think how many other companies out there are of this mindset, this idea that we'll never get caught, this won't escalate to being a serious problem, the consumers will forget about this, our brand will carry on. And I don't look at that purely in terms of necessarily the impact on the consumers, but think about the impact on the rest of the industry. All the companies out there that are striving to get it right, that are striving to take strides that go well beyond the minimum expectations. They're leaders in the industry. They're setting examples for other industries and even other countries, other industries, other food products not related to those food products in terms of, wow, that much action can be taken, those many preventive steps can be taken. This is how serious this is because people rely on our name brand in terms of this is a safe product. It's a slap in the face to all the companies that do get it right. That if a man like this, if a company, if a situation like this is just, we're going to give them literally a slap on the hand, then why should companies attend these events? Why should companies collaborate? Why should companies invest in the science? Why should companies train their employees? Why should companies invest in so much behind the scenes work to get it right every time? Anyway, that is one of the reasons why I think this is going to be, again, a landmark decision that's going to have significant ripple effect, not only for the industry, but I want to say too that the consumers who are directly affected by that outbreak, and quite honestly, consumers who are affected by any outbreak, are looking at this in terms of that is the justice system, that is our system bringing a resolution, bringing a closure, even though they might not be impacted by the salmonella and peanuts outbreak, the idea that something is being done, that people are going to be held accountable, by our government, and that the things that we grew up learning in terms of things will be taken care of, or people look out for you, or the government looks out for the people, or the justice system will make sure that the little guy is looked out for. I don't think a lot of people that have been through some of the worst events that could happen, like with illness and death in their family, I don't think that they could all think that. I don't think they're seeing the system working for them as much as they thought it would. And so again, not only the impact on the industry, but I think the impact on the consumer with this sentencing is going to be quite landmark, quite important.
Well, thank you for providing your perspective.